Hello everybody and welcome to another Tomb Tuesday. Today is July 26, 2022, and let's get started. So we opened the garden. So starting off with this Tomb Tuesday, talking about last week, opening up the garden, and that allows people to make LPs. So inside the garden, you can then stake LPs that you made in Lif3. All right, so that's another huge step for Life. After that, we'll be talking about the greenhouse and then the fountain of life. And then something new we'll talk about is the terrace, and those things are coming right up. All right, the market itself was pushing up for a good week to 2 weeks. Sunday night, Monday morning started to bring a little bit back. And again, goes on to say that, we're still in range-bound market, and it's not uncommon that we'll see shakeouts on both sides of fair market value. So you see a shakeout to the downside, you see a shakeout to the upside. This is fairly normal for these particular market conditions. So, again, we're just cautiously optimistic. All right, now with every piece of the puzzle being added across the Tomb Life ecosystem, we see more and more utility for Tomb. So now Tomb is arguably the most utility or the token with the most utility in DeFi, right, at the moment. I mean, besides just yield farming and Genesis farming for Life, you have the VIP levels that you can have trading fee discounts on Felix. That's a huge utility. And then another huge utility is the gas on Tomb Chain, which is huge. All right, so all those things are happening. We've come a really long way since, this time last year. And this is, it started in July of last year. So come a very, very, very long way. And again, we're just getting started. All right, Tomb Chain. I'm going to take a look at two key things that happened. One key thing that happened over the course of last week, and one we are hopeful that will come in the coming week. And those are two different milestones. One is wallets, and we'll take a look at that right now. Here you can see Tomb Chain analytics, and wallets are up to 1,044, crossing the 1,000 wallet barrier. And so that is a milestone for Tomb Chain. So that's absolutely fantastic. And, we enjoy seeing more and more wallets get added on a daily basis. The next milestone that we are approaching is 50,000 total transactions. So looking forward for 50,000 total transactions. Right now, we're looking at about 7,907 on average per week. So that is this is the 7-day average right here. So 7,907 per day. 7,907 per day. And then your 7-day average is right here. All right, so those are two big things that we're looking at, the 50K, and we did surpass 1,000 wallets. So congratulations to everybody on the team for that. That is fantastic. All right, moving on, we'll talk about Life and all the things that are going on with Life. So the garden, like we said, was announced last week. It went live, and that allows you to take the LPs that you made in TombSwap and stake them. For the reward of getting L share. So that's awesome. Started with, I believe, 4, ended up adding 3 or 4 more. So there's a couple, I believe there's 6 or 7 total that are on there right now, which is awesome. It gives you another way to earn yield, especially in this market. More farms, more pairs will be added in the future, so we'll just wait and see what those are. But for now, there's absolutely a way to play the game of Life, and there's a way to get involved in all of what's going on with the LPs, and all of that on Tomb Chain, which is awesome. All right, we're getting closer and closer to launching single staking on Life. Now, single staking on Life will be the greenhouse. All right, so the greenhouse will be your single staking LPs, and that will give you sort of a lock and reward in the shape of a receipt token. So you'll be able to lock assets, you'll get the receipt token, then be able to use that receipt token for other things. So that's sort of setting up a potential collateralization for lending platforms in the future, which is fantastic. And speaking of that, the Terrace announced just today. The Terrace will also be arriving, and this allows lending of LP pairs. That's expected to arrive in the short term. So we do have a few pictures we will take a look at in just one second. Here we're looking at the Life Swap analytics. You can see liquidity is at 1.6 and then it's climbing, right? So it's always good to see charts that go up. This, for example, is liquidity, which is, essentially all of the volume that is on there. And the available volume that is on there for people to make trades, to people to make swaps, for people to build their LPs, so on and so forth. So all of that is really good. We love to see it. We absolutely love to see it. And then we have the greenhouse right here. So you can see the greenhouse in this screenshot. This is, of course, beta. And you can see Terrace actually right here as well. Now, this is interesting. We see reward token as Life or Tomb. And then for the example here in Life, we could see stake Life as STL Life, and then receive as receipt representing your share of the pool. The pool automatically compounds. So it's an auto compounder on top of single staking. And currently it looks like you have your choice of a reward token of Life or Tomb. So we don't know exactly how this will unfold, but this is the little teaser screenshot for now. So very, very interesting. And it's nice to see that the Terrace is on there as well in the screenshot. It means that they're both sort of being tested in tandem. And when they're ready, we should have them. Okay, continuing on with the Life theme, Life Genesis. The Life Genesis pool is down to 47 days. By Thursday, it'll be down to 45 days. 45 days will be half of the 90 days that it initially started with. All right, so just again, there's 14 different single stake options on there, 4 of which are stables. So this is a conservative approach, very low risk that allows you to make some yield, especially in this downward market. All right, speaking of yields, the game of Tomb and the game of Life brings opportunity for all users. Sometimes it's easier for people to see that in a graphic. So we'll go over this graphic in just one bit, but essentially it's going to show you Tomb and Life, and then it's going to show you conservative, medium risk, and then essentially the degen plays. So let's talk about that right now. All right, here you can see Tomb on the bottom, Life on top, conservative, medium, and degen. All right, so the greenhouse that we just spoke about is considered conservative, as well as the Genesis of Life, because both of these are single staking. Both of these allow you to keep the asset that you originally had. So if you really wanted to hang on to your Tomb, you hang on to your Tomb. You want to hang on to your FTM, you hang on to your FTM. If you're in stables, you could still earn yield even in this market. So very, very, very little risk. You're doing nothing but making yield in these situations, which is great. Now, medium, the garden. Now, the garden is going to be providing LPs. We just looked at that. It just went live last week. But you do have the potential of impermanent loss, right? That's just one of the things that could happen when you're staking LPs. The equivalent to that on the Tomb side is Cemetery V2. Again, providing your liquidity to earn L share. So both of these will allow you to earn L share. Both of these are LP farming. Both of these have the potential of IL. Now with that, there are LPs that are less risky than others because they are tacked on with 2 stables, or there's something that's very close in relationship to one another price wise. So there is a degree of separation between LPs, but in and of itself, this would be considered medium. And then the degen play, of course, this is going to be the fountain of life. This is where you're going to stake your L share. The equivalent to that in Tomb is staking your T share, and your T shares earn you Tomb, and your L shares will earn you Life. Okay, moving on. Felix has a new update. It did add Brush from PaintSwap last week, so that went live, and that adds to all the other Felix friends that are available for trading. But this week, in fact today, this morning, went live with Felix.com or Felix.com or Felix_com on Reddit. Here we can see Felix.com on Reddit, and it is Felix_com on Reddit. All right, so feel free to check it out. Join, get on there, get part of the conversation. Felix itself does not have a Discord, and it does not have a Telegram in which people can communicate back and forth with. So this opens up that door. This paves the way for the conversation to be started. This paves the way for people to be able to talk to one another and ask questions and start a conversation about things that are happening, all things that are happening on Felix. All right, Tomb, Chain, and DeBank. We did talk about last week that the proposal went out to DeBank or DeBank to add support for Tomb Chain. Thank you, everyone who voted. There's 200 plus votes on there, 20 million plus in total net worth on the wallets that voted. And that is really, really, really bullish. That's a lot of people, and it's a lot of money that are backing, not backing Tomb Chain, but in support of Tomb Chain that we're willing to go on, put a vote on. And so that adds interest, that shows that there is a need for Tomb Chain. It shows that there are people interested in Tomb Chain. So it's very, very, very good. Happy to announce that it is in process. So in process. So there's no timeline on that, but it's reached them. They have agreed apparently, and it looks like that will go through. Also, DexScreener. So DexScreener, we now have support for Tomb Chain on DexScreener, which is fantastic. DexScreener is a really good resource. It's a great tool, allows you to see a lot of things on chain. You get a lot of information from there. It also has charts, so you can pull all those things up. So we could take a look at that actually real quick. Here you can see DexScreener, and we're looking at Tomb Chain. So you'll be able to find all the different chains down here on the left-hand side. We have Tomb Chain selected right here. So it's going to pull up everything on Tomb Chain. Now, the only thing on Tomb Chain at the moment is Lif and all of Lif pairs. But if you were to click on any one of these, you'd get a nice chart. You'd be able to do all your normal stuff. You would do it on TradingView. You could, most of the things you could do on TradingView, you could do right here. Customize these charts all you want. Get all the data you want. Take a look at all this information, activity, price change, liquidity, all sorts of stuff that's on here. So it's a really good resource. It's great to have, and we are happy that DexScreener added support for Tomb Chain. All right, and last but not least, the airdrops. Airdrops will be claimable on Tomb Chain. Now, again, as soon as all the final pieces of the Tomb Chain puzzle have been put into place. So single staking, lending, and liquidity pools will be in place before we start the airdrops. All right. So we now have the bridge. We have Tomb Bridge. We have LifeSwap. We have the Garden. Now we're only waiting on the Terrace, the Greenhouse, and the Fountain of Life. So we are hopeful that Greenhouse and Terrace will be coming soon. Fountain of Life to happen after that. All right. Fannie and T-Bone will be the first claimable airdrops on Tomb Chain. And again, we consider Fannie and T-Bone airdrops as basically a stress test to help us collect all of the data, get some information together so we can analyze all that stuff, and then further improve the L2. All right, that will wrap it up for this Tomb Tuesday. We'll be back, of course, again in the next week. But until then, we will keep calm, tomb on, and enjoy life.